I've come from the future. I am Powder's grandfather. Or great-great-great-grandson. Yeah. That's how it would go. That's how it would play. We're at the time. This is cool bullshit. There we go. We've made it to the time. The logic of steel straws is now evidently known. C60 helps, but can't stop everything. I'm always opposite of the norm somehow. I just can't fit. When I embrace something, that's when it's dying. And when I'm for something, that's when it doesn't exist. I guess that's some Uranian thing. It's counterculture without trying. But when you do try, it's really counterculture. And the culture is the program, it's the teacher. It's not the friend, it's not entirely the enemy either. Relativism is the river of sticks that the nihilist must cross, and in the end you see, well, what are you comparing truth to? What is the limit of your box? Where's your reality tunnel pulling you to? Technocracy, the people in technology or into crypto, they are not very bright. They would rather eat fake steak. They're like the guy in the Matrix. They don't care that they're burning down the farms or they're locking themselves into a burning building, as long as they've got lean cuisine in the fridge and the electricity is guaranteed to run until they start to melt themselves, they're fine with it. So the brutality of life, the lowest common denominator, the hologram of the victim, tyrant, martyr, savior is a reductionist art. And it gets you okay with being miserable, and if anyone else wants to get up and stand up, then they're the culprit, they're the bad guy. They're not bowing down to the god of pain. So really the tyrant doesn't actually exist. The tyrant is always a creation of following the mythology of the victim, over-identifying yourself with the history, with the trauma. And in that circumambulation, that triangulation, you create that martyrdom complex. Like the reason for it has to be a good reason, And the saviorhood, you got to fight for something, against something. In the daddy-mommy complexes, in this age, the daddy complex rises up as the tyrant. We're in the Abrahamic expression. This is the yanging showing itself as yin, which is the derivative. This is Saturn devouring the children, the godhood within you, so that the monotheism can reign supreme and we can all fall in line with a standard protocol. Now, I tried to set up a Facebook account to sell my guitar shit. I was denied because I didn't follow their standards or something. It's like I haven't had an account there for years, and I barely ever posted, so it's just obviously it's connected to everything else. So I expect to have issues traveling here within a few months. weaponized pawns in Normieville semantics will reign supreme as people are justifying their shitty livelihoods, essentially. And when you take power from people, they covet power in the most pathetic ways, and you see it on the roads every day if you drive in the US, or when you go to the airport or any place where you're supposed to follow a process, a protocol. The hungry ghost is given power, and the black guard is given Nazi status, and you see how they respond and react. The power is too much for them. They become the monster that they do battle with themselves. And we all battle with ourselves. It's what you do with it, not how you project it into this world. So kill yourself in that way. Burn the shadow within. Don't feed it back into loops, otherwise the world keeps running as it does. But when I follow a lot of people in technology, they're completely smitten. They avoid the obvious question because then they have to look deeper within themselves. And of course, that's why people get good at external shits, because they're all the tension that they try and escape from within themselves. They find a place where they can focus it outward, and they become CEOs, or they just rise up and become the ultimate programmer or whatever, and they fall into this Damien Dumas energy where they are the supreme expression of a nihilistic dream, and transhumanism and technocracy reigns supreme, because that is the new God. It's more infallible than the weak mortal flesh and these emotions which keep the logic and the rationale stuck in the muck. They're trying to build a foundation for the future. You got to take all the nature away first and reduce it to just the best grade earth that you can find. You don't want any moisture. You don't want that natural habitat there. You got to get rid of it and replace it with cement or something that will last. So these are the mentalities. This is the full expression of Wentico, and it is just a cannibalization process. Societies rise and fall. The polis takes on a form that channels a lifespan of an egregor or some other overmind entity, and then when they start to connect and use the same logos, it grows, and we globalize, and the Tower of Babel rises to fall again. Because if we're all speaking this tech language, then we're doomed. If we're all blinded by the same program, we're doomed. We need diversity in order to actually create unity, and that's what Aquarius is. That's why the cult of reason rises through personality, so that the ego construct can be seen as a device, not the pinnacle, not the limitation. It's a mechanism. It is the coloring on the balloon, and as your consciousness expands, the shapes, the colors, the drawing changes. And a new ego interface is brought into being. So the Buddha, the Christ, Krishna, the Lucifer, the Ahriman, all these other whatevers that I don't even know about rise in consciousness. And it's time to figure out what is the tuning of your instrument and go within and bring that out. Otherwise the world's going to be pulling you into the fucking ukulele section of this orchestra, the tuba section, the triangle section. You want to play something good. In fact, you just want to crank up a Mesa Boogie to 11 and overrun the bullshit of this cacophony. So I just wanted to say these things from the future here, and I hope you have a good rest of your day. Thanks for watching, listening, and being.